welcome back to the Sour Cherries podcast. Apparently now rated the most unhinged podcast on Spotify and YouTube. So, thanks for that, guys. I really appreciate that.
That's
we had
cool,
a little clip go semi-viral.
Did you?
Semi-viral.
Semi.
Viral by our
the best
standards.
kind, eh?
Yeah.
What, semis?
Yeah,
Semis are the best
They're better
kinds,
than the
agreeably.
Raging.
Right, what sort of
Yeah.
numbers are we talking?
Oh, just like 20k.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
views.
all right.
Oh, it's all right,
I
isn't it?
was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I was going to say
Yeah.
1,000 views.
Yeah.
22k, I think it was.
I reckon that class is a semi.
Yeah, but now the
Fair
world knows that me and Manny are considering shaving our bumholes. And before we get on to this, by the way, this is Denny.
Hi.
I know you usually do the intros, but I feel like I'm in the
Mate,
middle
you,
right
you
now.
fucking
So,
roll it, bro. I
um,
swore immediately.
oh, God's sake.
Beep
but-
that out. Beep it out.
Yeah,
beep it
yeah.
out. Beep it out.
But, you know, I guess the update that we all need is actually, have you done it?
have I done it? No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay,
no.
well, right, all right. So nothing's new.
I consider myself relatively brave, but I'm so not ready
Yeah.
to take a razor to my butthole.
No, I don't want you to either. Really.
You don't want me to.
No, I don't want you
Why
to.
are you seeing his butthole or no?
Yeah.
Does it affect you?
Yeah, it does. No, but
Would you ever? Have you ever?
No, not
Mm.
one bit.
Have you
Am
ever
I-
used like
Not
shaving
one
cream
bit.
at all ever? Like not shaving cream, hair removal cream, nothing, anything like that.
Nothing. I can't be doing with that sort of
Yeah.
the
You
risk.
shave your balls
Too much
though,
risk.
right?
Yeah, but then like rarely. Like, the growth rate of that is like minimal in compared to like a beard.
Yeah,
But,
that's true. That's true.
I am very happy now with like, you know, razors now come in like the Manscaped and all that.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
it
not
makes it a lot
sponsored.
easier.
Not
No, we're not
sponsored.
sponsored
No,
by
but if they
Manscaped.
want
They sponsor
to.
everybody else.
Yeah.
So,
So Manscaped,
get
you
on
wanna,
it.
yeah.
Look, we've gone
But-
semi
But that
viral.
sort of razors now out. I don't use that one, so there you go. But
Fair.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, that was great. Introduce yourself. Who are you? Now we know all about your ball shaving habits.
well, you asked. It literally comes
No, I'm
straight
saying,
in with it.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm
That's
saying,
literally
bro.
the first
There is
thing.
no better introduction than that.
Then that, yeah,
like
true.
every guest that we have on now, we're setting a precedent.
True.
Every guest, we ask them first, have you shaved your
Have you shaved your
bum
bum?
Yeah.
and have you shaved your balls lately?
Yeah, and I guess the answer is no.
No to both.
Can we have a look off camera?
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
you can. Woohoo.
You're right.
Yeah,
You don't want to?
not particularly.
Oh.
Why not?
shaved-
What have you
I
got
shaved-
against his balls, man?
Well, it's just, I don't feel like I need to see them. I'm going to take your word that they are.
Yeah,
They're groomed.
yeah. That,
Yeah,
Oh,
right,
yeah,
great.
okay.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice,
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm glad we got that sorted rather than
None of this will be in it. None of this will get.
Yeah, it will.
None of it will make the cut.
I'm glad we got that out of the way, though.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And
So,
what about you? Because you were also saying that you, and obviously now everyone knows that you've had your experimentation with hair removal cream. It wasn't anything that you would recommend to anybody else. But, how are you feeling about...
So after we put the clip on TikTok and everyone started saying like about, oh yeah, it grows back and then it's worse and then it's good for like a day and then you wipe your bum and it's like a traumatic experience. I'm like, I'm not about it, bro.
No.
I feel
No,
like
it's too much.
when the hair grows back,
Mm.
and I'd never really thought about this. You know how you get stubble in your face and it's kind of a bit like Velcro
Yep.
at some points, isn't it?
Mhm.
You're at that stage right
Yep.
now, bro. You're at
Yep,
that
yep,
stage,
yep.
right? You go home and rub toilet paper on your beard, and then watch the toilet paper disintegrate. That's gonna happen to your bumhole. No, thank you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not good.
You
It's
picking
not
up what I'm
good.
putting down, bro.
Yeah, but listen. The reason we started talking about this is because I'm telling you that
Mm.
where I'm at with the hair in that area of my body, this is too much. Like I've got to do something.
But doesn't body hair just like grow like if you stop shaving your pubic area,
Yeah.
it's not gonna just grow and somehow like one day it's just gonna be a bush like growing
Yeah,
out of your.
That's what I was about to say.
100% that happens.
But you've been a hairy man for
That's what I'm saying.
Why now?
Most areas of my body I've shaved, right? In my 32 years of life, most of my body has been shaved. That's the reality. You're covered in tattoos, So even your legs, even all your arms, you've had everywhere shaved, yeah? Not one hair from my butt crack and around my hole has ever been removed.
I think that's a lie, because sometimes when you do a poo
Yeah.
and you get like poo stuck to the hair,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're like, oh
Okay.
fuck, and then
Yeah.
Is this the podcast?
This is it.
So
This is
please
it.
welcome our very first guest. I'm going to insert some audience noise here. It's Denny Wright, everyone.
Hey, Denny
Thank you.
Wright. Look at him.
There's actually
Anyway,
quite a big audience here, which is
photographer,
mad.
Videographer, all-round top legend, massive personality,
Oh,
and cock.
how you
Thank
doing?
Yeah, all right.
What's
all
it?
right.
How's it feel to be the debut guest for Sour Cherries podcast?
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I mean, now that you've gone semi-viral, I feel a little bit better about it.
Why is this a thing? Semi-viral. How many times can we get that in? Oh, guys, we've got more than 3 views on a video.
It sounds horrible as well. We've
Yeah.
not gone semi-viral.
No.
Everyone. It was
Just
a
a
good
couple-
clip though.
Yeah, a couple more.
Great clip. Yeah, it feels great. Feels great. I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you, man.
Thank you so much for coming. We actually
It's a long drive.
is it a long drive? Sorry, man. We chatted about it during the last episode that in fact we have actually done this. This is sort of like our this is version 2, if you like.
Yeah,
This is the second go of it. We had some technical difficulties
we did.
in our last attempt. So
That's all right. We live and we learn.
absolutely.
I mean,
but
it
I
was
just
a very funny episode.
It was
and
very
I'm
good.
gutted that no one can see that.
and
ever.
only us will know anything that
Yeah.
happened.
I was
But
on
thank you
top
so much
form.
for coming
Now
back.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Now I've had a really sad day.
Oh,
have you actually?
No, not really.
You can talk to us about your day.
I just saw a rainbow on the way here. I thought,
What's
cheer
sad
me
about
up.
that?
Yeah, cheer me up.
I was having a really shit day and then I saw a rainbow.
Yeah.
Turn the whole day
Yeah, it
around.
really poured down, and then
Well, talking about that then. So we wanted to talk today about love and things that we love, and I wanted to let Denny talk to us about things that he loves. I want the audience to get to know Denny a little bit more and learn the things that Denny loves, and you as well. I want to give you an opportunity to talk to me about not just things that you love, but your experiences of love as well. Because just to put it out there now, I think us 3 as individuals have always done really well with each other about expressing love. And we've shown each other gratitude over the years. And I've had love sort of thrown upon me by you guys as well. Like, you're very loving people. I feel like as young men, there isn't a lot of conversation that happens where young men get to sort of present like their feelings like that in that way. I don't see a lot of that happening outside of our friendship group. So I just wanted to go straight in on it and say, like, I think it's amazing that I've got male friends that know how to show love and appreciation for things that they love. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here with you guys. And yeah, just wanted to, should we clap again?
you are.
Let's all
You
clap.
are. He's cute. He's
Let's
very
all clap.
cute.
What a
Let's all
wordsmith.
I know.
No, genuinely.
No,
I don't see a lot of that around. So it's cool. And to get an opportunity to sit with you both and talk about things that we love and, you know, just appreciation, you know?
We are all very deep people, I guess. Aren't
Yeah.
We talk deeply.
Mm.
And we don't talk about the normal like things that people have always, like, you know, friendship groups talk about. We don't, like, obviously we have a joke,
Yeah, of course.
but we get down to like deep talks a lot of the time, don't we?
I think that's the joys of like being comfortable with your friends and family or relationship, like whatever, is you have the ability at any point in your life to just open up.
Yeah.
Mm.
And there's a certain group of people or certain friends, family that you can just do that with. And I think those are the people that you have to keep around, man.
Hell
Because
yeah.
it's important to share that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't be afraid of it. Basically, you need to know that there's people that just regardless of anything, they've got your back. They're in your corner, and they want you to feel loved, and they want you to feel okay and protected, and you know, can't think of other words to describe it other than just accepted and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just think all 3 of us actually have done really well at presenting ourselves in areas of like vulnerability and things like that, and we've been able to express ourselves, and I've never felt ridiculed, and I've never felt like less than for bringing very real emotion to you guys, and that's meant a lot to me in my adult life, and I just appreciate it. So
Yeah.
just a good opportunity to bring that up. And hopefully there's people at home that feel very strongly that they've got people around them in their life, especially young men. All young people, absolutely. But I do want to say for young men, I hope they've got that, you know? I hope that there's young men that have got other young men that they can talk to and say, actually, you know, yeah, I'm feeling kind of down. Like, you know, this has gone against me right now or blah, 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 whatever. And you've got people around you, great word that we love, to galvanize you.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Bring you up and go,
what a
listen.
tune as well.
Galvanized Chemical
Yeah.
Brothers, right?
Put that right in. That can go on our playlist. But yeah, so I just wanted to kick off with that. That, you know, we want to talk about love, and I fucking love you guys. There you go.
Thanks, man.
I
Love,
love
you too.
you.
What's that?
Well, what?
Let's all kiss.
Okay.
Go on.
The only thing I was going to say is it kind of plays into the narrative of like breaking down this wall of toxic masculinity where men, again, young men are taught that like having emotions is, and this is what it was always when I was at school, is like, you've got emotions, you're gay.
Yeah.
And it was like this whole thing of like, what, why was that even a thing? Like now I'm older, I was like, why was that a thing at school? And I really hope, obviously now that we're not at school, I hope that that's not the same now for kids at school, because it does something to you, man, where like you feel like, oh, actually, no, I'm a guy, I shouldn't have emotions. And there's this whole like, you know, like our parents or grandparents, they're kind of a bit like that. I feel like the males anyway.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely like changed in our generation for sure, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think as well, like even so, what we have as a friendship is probably quite rare, right? Like I
think so.
I don't think there's like when I think of other friendship groups that I know of that I'm not in, I don't see them as the sort of people that we are that would do that with each other.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're the sort of like, because we're very just open. That's like you say.
Well, there's no fear to be open. I wonder from like outside looking in on other friendship groups do you have a fear to be vulnerable in front of these particular people? There'll be select individuals and everything else, but if you're only ever hearing from one other person, you know, that's amazing that you have that person, but can you open it to a wider group of people that have lived different lives and have different, you know, ideas of everything than yourself? I don't have any fear, especially in front of you guys and other people that we're equally all close with as well. I don't have fear of being vulnerable in front of you. And I just wonder if, sort of touching on what you said there, it's probably learned behavior, because the generations before us, dads and granddads and everything else, not likely to be the most emotionally progressive people. That's just my experience of that generation. Not a blanket all statement,
No,
of course. But I feel like it's potentially learned. You know, our granddads probably weren't big hugging and kissing and crying sort of dudes. So your dad, what did he learn about how to deal with his emotion? You know, you've got older brothers. How did they deal with that? Looking at their dad, and now we are where we are. So
I think a lot of that comes down to having access to a wider audience, being able to see people be vulnerable, and even like, I'm not saying we're doing a great justice for mankind by having this conversation, but the more people talk about it, I think the more acceptable it becomes to be like, oh, okay, I am valid for actually feeling emotions.
yeah.
So, and like, again, not just sad, but like love as well. I've always worn my heart on my sleeve. And it's got me into trouble quite a few times. For better or for worse, and yeah, I just hope that other people now growing up, like your formative years, when you're like a teenager and you're really going through it, and you're well horny in that.
Well horny in that.
Yeah, you're well horny in that at like school, and you're going, no, emotions, and you're like overwhelmed. I hope that like people have a good group around there to be like, no, it's okay to be horny, man.
You be horny,
you
Denny.
you get it, man. You get it.
Right, all of a sudden, that's not on me.
Yeah, just you get horny now.
Yeah.
That's a good.
I was horny a minute walked in.
So to kick us off then, talk to me about some things that you love. What do you really love in life? What are you loving like right now?
right now,
Mm.
I'm actually loving work. I know that's quite
Wow,
lame. But
really?
Yeah, but I feel like he's lying. He's saying that for the camera.
They watch this. They
Yeah,
don't watch
yeah, hi guys. Yeah, I'm looking for a raise. No, honestly, I think you will find that you will love something way more if you're open to the idea of just like putting your body, soul, mind, and like energy into it, rather than being a bit coy and being like, oh no, because like you even did it then. You were like, work, like the general consensus is like, you like your job. What the hell? But I feel like
I did do that.
yeah. But I feel like if a lot of people went in with an open mind that was like, right, not just with work, but with anything they do. Like if you've got a partner that really wants to go zip lining, you've got a fear of heights, but you love that person enough to be like, I'll go to support that.
Yeah.
Your person. But why can't you do that for yourself? Try that kind of stuff and just be like, I'll put my time, I'll try and enjoy it. And if it's not for me, it's not for me. But like, you've got to try stuff to work out whether or not you love it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's so funny that you said work because
I hate mine.
no,
I hate you hate your boss.
Yeah, I hate my boss. He's an absolute arsehole.
Do you want to provide the context?
Yeah, on that.
No,
Denny's just in some
he
fume.
is the worst. But he gives me a lot of holiday, so I'm
that's
happy with that. That's good.
Denny is his own boss, just so we know. Yeah.
We
I feel like I've ruined it now. Sorry. What a buzzkill.
no, it's funny that you said you love work because at the minute I'm really loving my downtime. I'm somebody, my head just feels like it's going 110 miles per hour, like all the time. I'm really, really loving it at the minute. I get home and I've got my routine, everything else. Chloe goes up to bed, the dogs just go up to bed, and I'm just left and I can do like whatever I want. And I have just I've been watching sports like completely uninterrupted. I've been reading so much, and it'll only be for like an hour and a half of an evening, but I feel so much tranquility, and in the day I'm looking forward to having that time. And listen, love my wife, love my dogs, do enjoy being at work. Don't love work. Enjoy being at work. But I'm really loving knowing that I've got that one pocket of time at the end of the day where I can go like, this is like whatever I want.
Do you guys feel okay in your own space?
Yes, very much so.
That's something I very much love.
Did you ever struggle with being in your own space?
No, I don't think so. I mean, for me, I think it probably started from very early age. I mean, like my brother's 4 years older than me, but like we would play together as kids, but I always I was obsessed with like playing with toys and whatever else.
Yeah.
And that was like, I was always just on my own doing that. And I guess it's not really ever left. Like I just like even like a video game of a night now or whatever for an hour or something.
You can just enjoy being in there.
Yeah. I mean, now, I've just booked tickets to go traveling on my own. So, yeah. But I think that's a very important thing in life.
Yeah, I think you've got to be comfortable with your own body, self-image, mental, to be able to let anyone else in, right? Yeah,
I know people that if you said to them like, do you want to would you ever go out and have just get lunch by yourself? And they'd be like, no, why? And I'm like, because I don't want to have lunch with anyone. If I can go out and have lunch by myself, that sounds awesome. I mean, I'm sure it's balance. I don't want to be someone that's so isolated that, I don't have any social interaction with anybody. And as I say, I do love my wife, love spending family with her.
He said that a lot.
Yeah, let's get that in. And he made eye contact. I do love my wife.
I do. But just knowing that there is some time put aside that I can just do whatever I want, not answer to anybody, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's almost like sacred to me a wee bit. But no, I've never had a problem with it. I know people that just aren't cool with it, but I've never ever had a problem.
So when you go traveling and you're by yourself, what's like, you've done it before, right?
Not on my own.
Oh, not on your
I've
own.
never even been to an airport on my own.
Really?
Yeah.
So are you nervous about it?
Oh, I'm absolutely bricking it. Yeah.
But okay, so for
But
listeners,
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Yes,
I was going to
awesome.
say for listeners who might be thinking about doing stuff like that, because I have recently started doing more things by myself.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing. No, go on.
Oh, and I was going to say, how did you even, like, what made you want to just be like, oh, I'm going on my own?
Yeah, that's why I was laughing, because I'm like, I'm probably not the person to ask, because I am I'm very much a winger. Like, I just wing it.
Yeah.
Like, professional, self-proclaimed winger. And I, like, going out there, I have booked my first 2 nights accommodation, and then I'm out there for a month.
Mate, I love that.
So it's
dude.
like, I don't know what I'm doing.
That's so scary.
Yeah.
Christ.
He's now scared for me. No, but like, people
Have
do
we
it.
mentioned where you're going as well, by the way?
It's just Thailand.
Yeah.
So, but like, Thailand is a very travelled place.
It is, but you realise people don't come back. Like, you... Just putting that out there now.
Oh, thanks, man.
You need to tell us where you are.
Yeah, I'll tell you where I am.
Do you want to take one of my air tags?
Yeah,
Keep it,
that's actually a good
keep
idea.
it up your bum or something.
Make sure you shave first.
Okay.
Or hair removal cream has got
That'll
mixed
just come
reviews.
straight back out.
Oh. Oh, dear.
Sorry.
What was I saying?
Yeah, well, you were just talking about what I really wanted to know is what made you want to take that leap.
I guess it comes down to age a little bit. So 32 this year. I know you guys are already gone past that bit.
Thanks.
But
I'm 32 by like 2 months. You can chill out.
you have passed 32. But
Carry on.
no, but
Moving on.
but it's a thing of, if anything in my life happens where, I get into a situation of settling down, whatever else, I want to have this part of my life where I travelled on my own. And I've always wanted it throughout my 20s. I wanted to do it.
Yeah, man.
And I just got lost in like building my photography business and or like my career in photography from the age of like 25. And I'd travelled with an ex like early 20s.
Yeah.
And then it got to like past 30s, and then I was like, oh man, I'm not doing it. So then it's just come to now where I was like, now is a good month to kind of just go away. I've saved up the money for it and whatever.
Yeah, man.
So I mean, my advice for it is just, if you're thinking of it, do it.
Yeah.
And then wing it.
It doesn't. Nothing. This is my problem as well. Like in my head, nothing really matters.
Yeah.
Like in the grand scheme,
Having known you a long time.
in the grand scheme of life,
Yeah.
nothing really matters.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to go and do something, you just go and do it. Otherwise, you're gonna get to, past your 30s or whatever, and be like,
Should have done it. Shoulda,
Really?
woulda, coulda.
I do love hearing that, man, because I am so... I could overthink everything if I really wanted to. And I check my own mentality a lot. Like, you don't need to do this.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to spend
yeah,
20 minutes, like, putting yourself in this, like, risk assessment, everything.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like, trying to work out, like, okay, so what's the best case scenario of this? Worst case scenario of this? And you've wasted a lot of time. You've wasted a lot of your own energy. And as you said, in practice, I do sort of think you do have to roll with the punch. Every time you're not moving, you're standing still, literally. So that's awesome to hear, man.
Yeah. And like, I know it's easy for me to say because I'm self-employed, so I can, like I say,
Sure.
give myself that month off or whatever. But, if someone's been thinking of traveling or whatever, and then they're also thinking of changing jobs, you can also, like, you can try and do that in the middle or whatever. But like, for me, I mean, I've been talking about it for ages, right? But I didn't buy the tickets for ages. I've been saying I was going, but I actually didn't have the tickets. And in that time when I'm kind of like lying in bed and I'm like, do I really want discomfort? Like in my life, like I could literally just go on like this and, you know, because coming back from traveling, going into like your own bed and your own shower is literally the best thing in the world.
That's
and it's
love.
like,
That's real love.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, that's real. And it's like, do I want to just like take myself away from that? But yeah. And then I was just like, I've just bought the tickets and now it's like real and I'm going to lose a lot of money if I don't now go. So then I'm like now put into this situation where I've like completely changed my mind frame on it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing it now. So now I've got to like focus on what I'm going to do.
I recently had an experience, very recently, where, and this is maybe the other end of that, where you're talking about a holiday, a nice experience, and I was in town the other day, and you know me, I've always been a skater, right? I like to skate roller blades, right? And I hadn't skated this year yet, and I was like, nice day, I'm gonna get the skates out, first time of the year. Now I haven't skated in this town, and it's always like a nervous thing where it's like, you don't know where you're skating, you don't know the lay of the land, like when you're on wheels. So I stupidly walked up into town, and to get into town from where we are here, it's through a big park, which is quite steep. And on the way home, I was like, yeah, you know where this is going. I was really nervous because part of me was like, everyone's going to look at me funny. Like, there's no other roller skaters like round here.
Yeah.
Like, nobody else even skateboarding. And I just had to say to myself, who cares? Like, if someone will look at you and go, he's got skates on. And even if they're like, oh, what the hell's he doing? Weirdo, he's got skates on. Like, it doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah.
Like, you will probably never see them again. And even if you do, they have no bearing on your life whatsoever.
Yeah.
So like, my thing was, what I was worried about was making a fool out of myself. And I put the skates on and I started skating. And within about 3 minutes, this old guy saw me, panicked, and like went like that, like he didn't know which way to move. So I've gone at Mach 1 down this hill and like avoided him, went flying. I've like done all my hands in, like, and I fell over, and in my head I went, oh, that is really embarrassing. But actually I just got up and he went, oh my God, are you okay? I'm so sorry. Like, you know, trying to
get out the way, man.
Yeah. And I just said to him, don't worry, man, people fall over all the time, I'm all right. And I just carried on. Like, there was blood pouring out of my hands. He was like, are you sure? And I was like, mate, honestly, I'm fine. Because I literally just thought, that was embarrassing, but who cares?
Yeah.
Like, you can either be embarrassed and be like, oh, this is so embarrassing, or you can just do the thing that you wanted to do in the first place and just carry on.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, you'll probably have some weird experiences out in Thailand or some awkward moments, whatever, right? But they happen every day.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you know, because of the nature of my job as well, like, and I've just bought the vlogging camera, so like I want to do that sort of thing. There's a part of me that wants to film myself, film everything I'm doing, like maybe even like do some talking into camera, that sort of thing. Make a YouTube channel, right, of stuff that I'm doing, or, you know, I'm even thinking about like buying the backpack and then reviewing the backpack and things like that.
Yeah, cool.
Hell yeah.
But then I'm like, there's this thing in the back of your head that like worries about the opinion of the people that you already know seeing it and judge.
Or people
do
that you
know
don't know being like, just another white guy that's gone somewhere else and wants to talk to me about a bag.
3 dudes, we white dudes, make a podcast.
But then it's like, as well, when you watch a vlog of someone and they're just like, they're talking into the camera and there's all the people going past them, they obviously don't care that anyone's watching them do it.
Yeah.
But then you're in that situation. If you walked through Culture Town now and you had to hold a camera, would you? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but I think about this all the time. When I'm sat down and I might be in a public place or there's other people in the room and I've got to stand up for whatever reason. I've got to take a piss. I want to go look out the window, whatever.
have a fart.
Yeah. I often have that moment in my mind where I'm like, I have to get up in front of all these people. And I'm not someone that suffers with any sort of social anxiety. And I know that there's people that really suffer with that. So I don't want to diminish how challenging things like that can be for people. But I've never had a problem with it. But I do go in my head like, right, I need to stand up now. Because you don't want to do something like, I'm going to stand up and my trousers are going to fall down. You know what I mean? I'm going to fall straight over.
Do you remember the advert for Dr. Pepper where it's like, Dr. Pepper, what's the worst that could happen? And the worst thing happens. Yeah. And another example of something like that is you always think of the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah.
I watched a video the other day where it was it's on a YouTube channel called Rough and Rowdy, I think. And it's basically like amateur wrestling and MMA fights, like sanctioned, or not sanctioned, but put on in an event, right?
Sounds well suspect.
Right, it is a bit suspect.
Rough and Rowdy. I was
Rough
like,
and Rowdy,
where
right?
is this going?
And there was these two big dudes that couldn't fight, but it was just fun to watch them have a scrap. And the caption was like, he's never going to live this down. And basically they were wrestling and one guy does the unthinkable and poos himself. And like it's like a small arena full of people.
Oh wow.
And like he gets rolled over and you see the poo and then he stands up and like the ref suddenly notices and was like, oh, and then it falls out of his shorts and like he treads in it and it's like, and I saw a caption and it was like a conversation between him and his coach was like, hey man, just go out there and try your best. What's the worst that could happen? And he says, well, I could get beaten up. And the coach says, yeah, probably. And then that happens.
Wow.
And in my head, I was like, man, I feel bad for that guy because he walked out and like everyone was laughing at it. Like it was bad.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Part of me was like, that's hilarious. Part of me was like, that's hilarious. But then I thought,
You're not going to laugh at
I'm
that.
also laughing.
right, so have you ever had those things that will pop into your head at the most random of time? You will remember something that is so embarrassing, right? It could happen in the shower. It could happen when you're just talking to someone. It will just happen randomly. That's got to live with him for the rest of his life, bro.
Yeah.
But the way I thought about
but
it...
come on, we've all shit ourselves. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but not in a crowd full of people.
No, probably not, but...
He literally got the shit beaten out of him.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even think that was a real thing.
That is not...
But the way... Okay, so the way I was thinking about it, I was like, oh my God, yeah, that is embarrassing. But if he would have stood up and just been like, oh my God, I've shit my... If he would have laughed at himself, would it have diminished the fact that he shit himself? Because being able to laugh at yourself in those...
you've got to own it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to...
Sorry, I was only going to say, like, life happens to you.
Yeah.
And it happens to everyone.
Yeah.
Like, that was my whole point about, like, me standing up in the room and thinking about it. It's like, the point that I was trying to make was just really as simple as we're all doing the same thing, basically. That happens to everybody. You have your own sort of awareness of yourself. But in reality, how many times have you, like, walked through town or been at, like, a party or a pub or a bar and been like, oh, that person's whatever. Oh, that's weird. Or, oh, I can't believe that happened. And then you've not thought about it
you
ever
forget
again.
about it.
Like,
Apart from the guy putting his pants.
What about this one for you?
hit me
now,
with it.
in the complete opposite way, this pops into my head whenever I need to smile or it just makes me laugh so much. And it was when, and you might have completely forgotten this, and now this might turn into one of those things that you just start remembering.
You're going to have to censor this.
Hit me.
But, no, it's fine. When me and you turned up early to a party.
Yes, I remember this.
It was the best thing in the world.
Mate.
What?
We turned up early to this party, right? It was a house party. And we walked in.
Hold on, we're not like that young. We're like
probably 15.
15.
I reckon.
Okay,
I reckon it's about year 11.
Yeah,
maybe year 10, one of them.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And we walk in, and there's probably like 5 people already there. Me and Manny are there, and Manny, for some reason, like instantly, just like he looked round, and she had big French doors, right? So big, clean windows. And Manny just goes, "Oh, can I go and have a look at your garden?" Does a run and jump straight into this glass, bounces so far back, like he rolls back. And then I was like on the floor laughing. And then I went up and looked, and there was just these perfect lip marks. And everyone was just like standing around watching. It was the best thing in the world.
You know what's so funny about that as well? I remember thinking at the time, I'm so glad there wasn't more people here.
Yeah.
But then if you remember later that night,
You took the door for him.
yeah,
I
didn't realise
What?
I had run into it with such velocity that after everyone in the party, after a few hours pulling the door, like, you know,
Open,
whatever,
close, yeah.
it came straight off the frame, dude. The bottom was all bent, all the metal was bent, and it just came straight off the runner.
Man.
And I remember looking at the, like, she was like, "You'll never come into my house."
No. But like, I get that, you know, I've walked into a glass door before and whatever else, but it was the run and jump.
Mate.
It just made it so much better.
So much more grand.
Yeah, and the way
I
it just
remember
bounced all
being
the way
like
back.
on the floor. I was so far away. I bounced so far
you
back.
rolled. It was the best thing.
Combat
Oh,
rolled
man.
away
Best
from the
thing I've
door.
ever seen in my life.
Mate, life happens to you.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very clean.
There's
So
an-
clean.
There's another side.
Props to the cleaner.
What's funny is I wasn't even there, but just the fact of going up to the window and being like, "That's Manny's lips
there's just
on this
there's
floor."
literally lip marks.
I love it.
So
That's
good.
amazing.
So good.
Do you guys remember when we were in Amsterdam, and this was a time where, you know, talking about love and the love of your friends and doing things together is like you get in this bubble. And there was this one time in particular when we were in Amsterdam. Yeah, we'd had a bit of a smoke, which is legal. It was legal out there. Well, it still is. And you guys, because I didn't go to school with you guys, but you found this picture
Oh yeah.
of you guys at like school.
Oh
and
Christ.
so one of us said you should recreate that. Right now we're on we're in the center of Amsterdam. It is busy.
Yeah, it's
And we're outside one of the most popular like bar places, coffee shops, right? There was what, 10 of us? I feel
Christ, I don't know
10
yet.
of us. And there was like 6 of you in this photo. And I just remember being all huddled round trying to recreate this photo. And we were crying with laughter
So funny.
at this photo that we were trying to recreate from like 10 years prior. And then suddenly, like this switch in my head went, we're in the middle of the street in Amsterdam. I just remember looking around at all these people like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like it was some sort of spectacle.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but that was a moment for me where I'm like, obviously I was high, but I just remember it so clearly because I was like, this is how involved you can get and how much anybody else, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. It always happens at a wedding. Someone's just in that perfect space of they've had a bit to drink, but they're not so far gone. And their song comes on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I love it. If you get to watch that person just like realize the song's come on and they've grabbed their mate and they're like, and they've got to get up and they're literally like that whole like dance like no one's watching.
Yeah.
I love it. There's like pure ecstasy for that person. And it's amazing because they don't care. They're not thinking about what everyone else is
that's
like saying and thinking and stuff like that. Life's just happening to them.
There's
It's
a
awesome.
famous scene that I
Very
remember
cool.
from the film School of Rock
Mm.
where they're in the pub and Fleetwood Mac or Stevie Nicks comes on. And she gets
she's
up on
in
the and like she's clearly a very reserved person, but she is in that bit.
Yeah.
She's in that zone where she's like not too far gone, but she hears her song
Mhm.
and then she's up and dancing. That is a real thing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
Denny, so you
Go
talked about a wee bit of travel, things that you love. Why Thailand? May I ask? What's the appeal to Thailand? Talk to us about Thailand.
No, none of
No,
that.
what do you? What's no?
No, what are you
What's
about?
that? What do you mean?
Well, his
Why-
face,
why
obviously.
Thailand?
What about my face?
Yeah.
Oh, you
I
gave
just-
that look.
What
Well-
look?
What?
What?
I don't know. You tell me. No,
Oh, I just didn't know if you were going out there, you know.
laugh. It's like with Muttley Dog or whatever it's called. Right.
You almost lost
Have
me
you ever
over
sucked
it.
a cock before?
No.
Oh,
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, if you go out there, there's pretty
it's
ladies
the
out
trans
there.
capital of the world, I think.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, good for them.
Good
for them.
Good for them.
But no.
That's not why you're going.
But no,
No,
fair
not
enough,
really,
fair enough.
really.
Fair.
Not really.
I mean, it's on my list.
I mean, when I was doing pros and cons, it was in the pro column.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't in the cons. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. There's a long list and it's down the bottom somewhere. No, honestly, it's just like, obviously it's a beautiful country.
Mm.
Like, but there's also the things of, because it's quite a touristy, like, travel place,
Mm.
it's very easy to like get around. Yeah, and it just looks like a cool spot.
Yeah.
And like you can get like the 30-day visa there as a British person.
Mm.
So, you know, you can stay there for that amount of time without, you know, having a visa.
You have to pay.
No. So 30 days you're fine.
Non-working, right? Like a
Yeah.
travel
No.
visa.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
That's awesome.
But yeah, like I don't know. Like it's just a cool spot
Just
to go.
always been on the list.
Yeah. And
Nice.
like I've
hot,
done a little
right?
bit. Huh?
It's hot.
I mean, to be completely honest, when you say about like being nervous about anything, like the whole travel and little things like that, I'm actually okay with. But the heat is actually what I'm most scared of because it's literally like 40 degrees, and I'm not.
And it's
I'm
humid,
a
right?
Yeah,
a
it's
fair
gonna
weather
be
man.
in your mouth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm just gonna be sweaty.
Have you had all of your like shots?
I have.
Do you need
Good.
shots for Thailand?
I think
Yeah.
mozzie, malaria, right?
No, I'm not going into that. So malaria is like round the border. So like
Okay.
if you're going near like Burma or places like that,
Okay.
it kind of that's where like the malaria is kind of like a little sliver around the border basically. So I'm just not going to go anywhere near those spots.
That's cool.
But I got my hepatitis A shot.
Yep.
The other week.
How many hepatitis is there?
A and B? I don't know.
A and B.
Maybe
I
C.
ain't heard of Hep C.
Hep C?
Mm.
Sounds like
it
something.
sounds like there is.
Yeah.
Hep D.
Hep-
Mm.
Could be all of them.
Yeah, it could be.
hepatitis cell? That's probably not
Yeah,
one.
no.
Maybe they don't get that far.
Okay.
But then I was going in there thinking I was going to need to get tetanus, but apparently
You're all good.
You've
You-
got it.
you only
Already.
I've
So
already
don't
got
need
tetanus.
an
Yeah.
inoculation.
All those rusty nails I've been standing on. I've actually,
I was hoping to
I
get
told you
immunity.
to stop eating those pennies.
yeah. But you get 5 in your life apparently.
5 what?
Well, 5 tetanus
Five
jabs.
tetanus.
5 tetanus
What,
jabs.
and then you're
And then that apparently
And then
does you
your
for
mother tetanus.
the life. And I've already got 5.
You've already got 5.
Well,
How many
yeah.
do I have?
you completed the set.
Yeah.
I've completed it, mate. Yeah.
You completed
No,
tetanus.
so I got 2 when I was like first born, and I had
Right.
one like a few years later, and I
Yeah.
had one at school, and then I had one when I was going to Bali.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Damn.
I've
So
done
you
it.
love jabs.
Yeah.
I hate, man. I cannot
do you-
tell you how nervous I was in that waiting room.
Really?
Oh my
You
god,
get tattooed all the time.
it's completely different. Are you like this?
I'm fine with jabs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't.
Getting my blood taken,
They
no
are-
worries.
Oh my god, I could never. I literally.
What do you
I've-
mean you could never?
I've never had it done, and I'm avoiding everything I can to get it. I mean, going traveling is not the best idea. But
So, a bit of a curveball here because earlier on you said you just wing it.
Yeah.
But clearly you must have done a lot of research. So there you brought up that you've had your jabs done. And to know that you've had your
I'm
jabs
not
done.
an idiot.
Okay, so maybe for clarification, you didn't just wing it. You winged the fact that you wanted to go, but then you've done your research around it, yeah?
Like
He's got accommodation for 2 nights. dude. Like-
I've winged. I mean, I've done my
Yeah, you
research to
can't
the
wing
point
it
where
any more
I've
than
done
that,
my
I don't
research into
think.
the point where, like, I know that they give you 30 days free in the country, and that you might get these particular diseases.
I looked up diseases and flights and where I can stay for like 2 nights. That's it. That's all you got.
That is all I've got.
Mate, well, I wish you the best
I
of
know
luck.
a few things, like places that I want to go.
Yeah.
like like elephant sanctuaries and all that kind of
Yeah, that's
good
awesome.
stuff.
You mentioned to me about wanting to get like a stick and poke
Yeah,
tattoo.
yeah.
Or is
I
that the one
have
with the
done
hammer?
that.
Or
Yeah, that's I've done research on.
yeah,
So that's cool.
That's really cool.
so you
Yeah,
got like a
that's
loose itinerary.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So I mean, like it's called a sakyant. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's
Let us know
That's how it's written.
if you're from Thailand.
Yeah, it's a very kind of obviously it's done by like monk, and it's quite a spiritual kind of like ceremony, and like there's offerings to the monk and all those sort of things. So yeah, it's like a real day of it.
Experience.
Yeah, it's a proper experience.
Awesome.
And yeah, I'm going for that for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, like I mean, coming back to the whole love thing, I love things like that. Like we love art, obviously, and I love that kind of that kind of notion of that spiritual kind of ceremonies and things like that. I love getting involved in those sort of things, so yeah, I'm super excited for that.
That's good though,
awesome.
because it kind of says a lot about you as a person to be like very open to other cultures, people, ways of life, and just being like, you're just in that for the ride.
Oh yeah, I
that's
love
cool.
it. Yeah, and like I'm like I'm going to be taking my camera out there. I just want to capture like everything. I want like the whole like say culture of it and like the markets, and yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's a vibe. I love that.
Going back to like talking about, the fact that you love photography, videography, and all that stuff. One thing that I've struggled with is I'm the same. I love being creative. Anything I do, music, video, whatever, right? But sometimes if I stop, and going back to like how you were saying earlier, relaxing by yourself, just doing nothing or reading a book or watching some TV, if I'm not doing something that's creative or I'm not building something, I struggle with like guilt. And I don't know if it's because I'm not in love with doing nothing, but I don't know how to not do nothing. I don't know how to do nothing. Yeah, that is like double negative. I don't know how to do nothing. I guess.
I would say, as someone that knows you pretty well, you've really got to, in my opinion, it just comes down to the terminology I literally used earlier was pockets of time.
Yeah.
You don't need to do nothing for an entire day.
Yeah.
No one's going to make you do nothing for 4 hours. If you want to do nothing, or if you want to unburden yourself of task for 20 minutes,
Yeah.
just understand what the 20 minutes can do for you mentally. Like at times during my work, I will just take a minute to just step outside, and like my lunch break, I have to go out. Doesn't matter if it's raining, whatever. I want that time. I feel like I've earned that time, to be honest.
Yeah.
To do whatever I want. And again, it's not the idea that, because I do know what you mean about like a guilt of whatever. If I spent like all day doing nothing and come the end of the day and I'd be like, what have I achieved? And as a creative person whose head is going 100 miles per hour, that's not really easy for me to look myself in the mirror and go, well, what did you achieve? I don't like that. But ultimately, I don't need to do that for a whole day, a whole weekend, or anything like that. I'm talking about a pocket of time in a day. You can still be productive. Equally, I guess it depends how much pressure you want to put on yourself. I know you as a person; you're very driven. I don't think you're going to be able to like take that out of your head completely, but allowing yourself some time where you've gone, no, I did whatever I wanted.
I think it's looking at other people who do enjoy that and being like, why can't I find joy in that? But yeah, I guess you're right. It's just about being able to give yourself that time, because I feel like, I don't know if you guys are the same, but I will sprint and then get burnt out. Like mentally, I'll sprint and then get burnt out. But that's the way I've always been. So like, do I just carry on sprinting and then stopping, sprinting and then stop, or do I just jog lightly and not, not worry about everything else and go in 110 mile an hour. But I would say it's easier said than done.
Yeah,
with a
of
lot
course.
of that stuff.
Yeah, of course. Trying to find balance there is really hard. And you're talking about obviously sprinting or should you jog or whatever. To keep on the analogy, I guess it's what's the finishing line?
Yeah.
What are you trying to achieve? What are we really talking about? If you're talking about I don't know, I want to make a practice of I want to exercise, every day. Yeah, the worst thing that you could do is, exercise for 4 hours for 2 days
and then not do it for a month.
and then be absolutely dead
Yeah.
and not be able or injure yourself and then you can't do anything for 2 months.
Yeah.
So I'm using that as an analogy, but like it's the same with being creative. If you just I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to just work my ass off. You might have to do it, I guess, being self-employed. If you've got a deadline to work to that's your own with your own time, you're like, right, I need to stay up. Next 2 nights, I've got to get this down or whatever. But then 2 days after that, are you so sleep deprived? Are you getting the best out of yourself for other things that you might have to do? But it is hard. That's not an easy thing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I guess I try and capture like my downtimes as like a whole day of like doing nothing a lot of the time, just because when I do have a job and like say I've done a 2-3 day shoot and then I've got like 4 days of editing or a week of editing or whatever, you then, because it sounds silly, but I think because I am self-employed, it's much more draining on like my like kind of mental kind
psyche.
Like the kind of energy that I then need those kind of like days afterwards to like kind of rejuvenate. Because when you're like, when I was working full time or whatever, like you don't know, like you don't have that same sort of pressure because you're doing it for someone else. Like it's almost on someone else's shoulders. Like if anything goes wrong on my side of things, like someone else has kind of got to deal with it, like as a company rather than just me. But when it's like me doing it for my own company, I think it takes a lot more out of me, like mentally. So
but I feel like you're more emotionally invested.
Yeah.
You're very passionate because that's the type of person that you are, but also you're proud of there's some level of pride in what you do.
Yeah.
Because ultimately the end product, besides it getting you more business, there's a certain level of like accomplishment there.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you find that because now, and I know you've done photography for a very long time, but since going, working for yourself, self-employed, has any part of you fell out of love with any elements of it?
Not really. I actually think it makes me like it more.
Interesting.
In a way, because like I know now like the worth of what I'm doing, and like I was working for nothing in comparison to what the shoot would have been at the other jobs. So now I'm like working and everything feels so much more, I don't know, I feel like I'm just putting a lot more into like love into it. Like getting told to do a certain job, like, and it might have been like the most boring, just on white product job at another place. I'd be like, I absolutely hate this. This isn't photography. In like, do you know what I mean? Obviously it is. And
but you didn't get to pick and choose.
It's very simple, and I couldn't. Yeah, it was nothing to do with me in terms of how it needed to look. Whereas now I will have that sort of simple job, and I'll see it completely differently.
Would you ever turn down work because it's not what you love?
That'd be
not at this stage.
That'd be a cool place to get to.
Yeah. That's not really. Yeah. Not,
is that where you want to be?
I'd love to be at that point. Like, I mean, I love, like, when I look at other photographers that I look up to or whatever, they're all, whether they take on other jobs that they don't show on Instagram or their website or whatever, I don't know, but they're
they're
all,
not going to advertise it, are they?
Yeah,
Just
but-
turn down this job.
yeah, but they're all doing like, you've just got a food photographer. That's all they ever do is just food. Or, like lifestyle. He just works with like amazing brands all the time, or like portraits and things like that. So I'd love to like at some point home in on like my specialty,
Your niche.
whatever that might be. I'm not
Yeah.
really, even like now, years in, I'm not really feel like I found that, because I like doing it all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like so many different elements, but at the same time, like, yeah, it'd be nice to kind of be known as that guy.
But I don't think, I think there's a lot of pressure to find, to really get the most out of every human at every point in time. Like everyone's got to have a niche. Everyone's got to be really, really good at one thing. And like, if you get 10 years down the line and you still haven't found a niche, I wouldn't be too upset about it.
No.
Because you're great at it all. So why would you make any compromise in the other elements?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I think you are.
Oh, thank you,
mate.
mate. I
You've got a
appreciate
good
it.
eye for it. Just in general. Your niche is doing that. If
Yeah.
you were doing anything else but that, you know what I mean?
Thanks,
Yeah.
mate.
It's only because you look at like, and this is the comparison I was sort of getting to is, let's take, for example, someone who is a cleaner for their job. Typically, from what I've seen in my 34 years of life, a cleaner's home is not tidy
Right.
because they clean all day.
Mm.
So why would they want to come home and clean?
Yeah.
A builder's house is never complete because they start projects, they go into work, and what do they want to do when they come home? Not finish building a brick wall. I don't know, that my perception of those kind of trades or pieces of work, that's why I wanted to put it to you, because I was interested to know from your perspective. You talked about wanting to vlog in Thailand, but would you find that more, are you able to separate that from work?
Yeah. Oh man, like for me, I love I love what I do so much that it's a hobby to me no matter what. This is like photography started out as a hobby, and I'm just lucky enough now that it makes me money.
Yeah.
But let me ask you though, right? When you're like, you'll be, I don't know, at a restaurant or whatever, and you're sat next to a table, and they're like, "Oh, can you just take our picture?"
I hate that.
As a photographer, are you like,
Yeah. No, the worst thing, I think you actually did it to me on holiday, was go like
He's
they
a photographer.
they ask you to do it,
Oh,
but you
yeah.
go, "Oh no, get him to do it. He's a
he's
photographer."
a photographer?
I'm sorry, man. I screwed you over with that one.
No, it's fine.
I screwed you over with that
But
one,
like,
guys.
I prefer going out like when like you say, like obviously last thing a builder wants to do is go home and build the wall that he's been working on. Like I prefer to do photography after I've done a job for someone, to go and do it for myself, because like that is it's like a release of like creative mind. I don't know.
Yeah, I totally
I've had to
get
stick
it.
to guidelines, and now I can just go away and just be free, and no one has to see these
You get
images.
full creative control over what you're producing.
Yeah.
I think that's why, as again, someone else who's creative in maybe not the same space, but with music, for example, or whatever art it is, or even if it's not, like if you're an architect, right? And you go to someone's house and they've got a room and or a house and they want you to design something. Wouldn't the architect just rather the client go, "You have full creative control. We love your work."
Yeah.
It's like I always say with Ollie, the guy who tattoos me, and you've got tattoos. Yeah, us. I say to him, "Man, I know that a lot of people go into, his place of work and they're like, I want a butterfly and it needs to look exactly like this."
Yeah.
And then he's got to just draw that. I can imagine he maybe doesn't get as much enjoyment out of that than he does if, someone picks something that he's drawn and come up with, or something that's in his head. And I imagine that's the same for music. If you're a producer, if you're a videographer, if you're an architect, if you're whatever, I feel like that's more fulfilling than just being told, here's a piece of paper, this is what you need to do, follow it to the guidelines.
Yeah, that's it.
So, but yeah.
Nice.
Do you have something that you wanted to bring up, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, we've been filming for like an hour already.
It
That's
just
crazy.
goes so quick. Just goes so quick. Do you think it goes quicker when it's more than me and you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've got that extra like
Gap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you've got that bit of speaking.
It's been weird sat here thinking like that's already an hour gone. And we've not got to like half the things that I thought that we would. But that's what it is. Like, that's what I love about the love. This is what is great about having the friendship that we have, where it literally just rolls like that. I don't think anything of it, the conversation's just really easy and goes from here, there, everywhere. I love it. No, I didn't have anything. I was literally thinking, as you were talking about what you were talking about with, as for like music, and if you're like a tattoo artist and stuff like that, that's what I love, is watching somebody like the tattoo artist. I love going into the tattoo shop and being like, what they say to you, what do you want to do? I don't know, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Like that kind of energy. That's what I love, when someone is doing something that they're really passionate about. That to just witness it and be a part of that is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people, because as you said, people don't get that kind of freedom in their work usually.
Yeah.
When you've got to do a job, and it might be someone's wedding, and they've got a very exact, because their wedding day is so incredibly important to them. They've got a way in which they want their wedding day to be captured. They want to be able to look back and be like, well, this is what I want you to have captured. And you're like, yeah, I mean, okay.
I didn't capture any of that.
Yeah. But that's the thing. You don't necessarily want to be like, okay, fine. Let's do it this way. Let's do this one on the steps. Oh, we've seen steps. Like, you know what I mean? You want to do every photo that no one's ever seen before and be creative. And that's cool. But I literally was just thinking about, honestly, the tattoo shop I love that. I don't remember the last time I went into a tattoo shop going, oh, this is exactly what I want.
Yeah,
not for years and years and years.
I love going in there and saying to him, like, for Ollie doing my front is, I'm trying to stick to like a Western theme. So let's, I want
loose ideas.
Yeah,
and...
just like giving him like, I want this or that, or like, the cowboy on a horse. I'm going in there not like, obviously I've seen a million photos of cowboys on horses. I don't know what I'm going in there to get. And then it's always like, yeah, sweet, man. Like, let's do that.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, we're all like covered in the flash pieces as well. So it's like, yeah, that's obviously what they want to do.
Yeah.
And I love doing that as well, where that they're tattooing something that they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it feels so much better.
I might have said this on the podcast before, but a lot of people see, there's two types of people, I would say, when they're being tattooed. Is there's the people that's getting the piece on them for them, it's what they want. Everything's really about their skin, because it is their skin, right? But then there's the other side of that, where it's like, actually, no, I'm the tattooist's canvas. And that's what I love about it, is being like, yeah, I have art on me from multiple people that just is their expressive idea of like a drawing or something mad. Yeah, man, I love that.
Yeah,
that's what I love.
That's a thing as well, where someone that's not really getting many is talking to you about how you decided on the tattoos and stuff, and I'm like, you're asking the wrong guy, because I don't care what, like, to a certain degree, as long as it's not like an offensive thing or whatever.
Yes.
I don't really care on what the image is, as long as it fits in with the rest of.
I find it it's such an interesting conversation when people ask me for advice on tattoos. Like, I'm thinking of getting this, and I'm like, we're just not the same.
Yeah.
It's great that you have this is what I want. And it might be a very like sensitive, meaningful tattoo. So that's why it's in their mind so clearly as to what it should look like and the colours used and the positioning and all that. And it's great that people feel like they can talk to me about it because, yeah, I've been tattooed a lot. But I always say the same thing, like, the artist is going to tell you, okay? And you might not want to pay any attention, but there's going to be a reason why they're telling you what they're telling you. They know what does work. They know what doesn't work. And the main thing I say to anyone that's getting tattooed is don't have it clear in your mind. Don't have it clear in your mind. They're going to say something like just, I don't know, a change of color or like, I think this looks better in this area of your body or whatever. Don't not pay attention to that. Pay huge amounts of attention to that because the artist is going to tell you.
I guess it's similar to like going to an art gallery to buy a piece of art and then they haven't got you what you want. So you ask the artist to draw you something. It's like you just wouldn't do that. You're buying the art for the art. I get it. It's different. It's on your skin. You have to look at it every day. It's going to be there until you die unless you get it lasered off. But yeah, I think, you know.
All blacked out.
Yeah, all blacked out. You know, the other thing, and again, we're going into tattoo talk, but you get people ask you whether or not they think certain tattoo ideas are good. I don't know, bro. I'm not a tattooist. I just like them. I just get them. And I have one style of tattoo, traditional, flash, cool. I don't really know about the other stuff.
Yeah.
Like a fine line, I don't know, black and white. You crack on. You crack on. Yeah. So, but I do love tattoos though.
Anything else you love?
Hate getting them.
Hate getting them. I like it.
I love getting them. Do you know what?
A bit
The older,
hurty, though.
They hurt.
Okay, this is gonna sound quite sadistic. The older I've got, the more I like the pain.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. I get in that chair and I'm like, I hope this one really fucking hurts.
No, you're not.
Dude,
Wow.
I'm not even kidding you.
That's
Why do you
mad.
think I've had my neck done?
Yeah,
Right.
it's a bit much.
Oh,
Yeah.
Seeing that's a different side.
Bro, it hurt at the time, but I was like,
Yeah.
makes me feel alive.
I do like
Yeah,
getting
fair.
tattooed. I like it. I like the idea that like, well, I'm going to sit there and it's going to hurt and I've earned it. That's what I
Yeah.
like. Having said that, I've not had my throat tattooed, so I don't know how I.
Well,
I
I
do
went
want to
for-
get my throat done though.
It looks boss.
I went through a phase of using tattoo numbing cream, and then I was like I've been tattooed hundreds of times, and then I started using the cream because I was like, no, I don't want to feel the pain anymore. And then I was like, actually, it's a bit boring.
Yeah, it takes it away.
Yeah, it takes it away. So I was like, no, man, I'm going there. I'm doing the experience.
So
Do whatever you want.
So you don't recommend tattoo numbing cream. You don't recommend hair removal cream. Is there any?
I've got something against cream, man.
Yeah, is there any cream that you want to recommend for anyone? What cream do you love? Krispy Kremes?
It's
Your cream.
Stop. Real cream.
Real cream.
real cream. Well, I guess we've been going for like an hour and a bit.
Mhm.
I can kind of wrap this. We could talk about love for hours, right?
Oh,
We could
yeah,
I was
go
gonna
into-
say it
yeah.
could be 3 hours.
We could go on to many more topics, but I think that's a good excuse to get us back in and carry on conversations like this. If you want to join us for another time, Manny, I know
God,
that
no.
you are,
What?
and I'm kind of putting this on you on the spot here, but I know that you're heading. You know, you're not heading off anywhere, but you might not be
Yeah, he
as
is.
available. Yeah, he is, but you might not be as available
Yeah.
as we'd like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because you're going to be a dad soon.
Yeah.
Mate, bro, I'm
Mate,
excited
I
for
love
you.
that. Yeah.
So
I'm scared
potentially,
for you.
Are you scared for me?
No.
so potentially we could get you on as a co-host to carry on some of these discussions without Manny. I know it's gonna, be
yeah,
a bit
except
weird,
you're
but
going away. You've put a
Yeah.
massive
I mean-
hole in that plan, bro.
Well, the baby's not going to be like,
The
you,
baby can just be here.
yeah, that's true.
oh,
But-
that would be so sweet.
That would be
Gang-
sweet.
We'll get a baby mic.
We'll get a little baby,
Baby
mic.
cam.
Yeah, you know, his little lapel on his.
A little lapel on him. I love it. No,
Yeah.
I'd be well up for that.
Yeah.
If it fits in with your schedule.
For sure. Like that's what I was trying to say. Like I'm only going for a month.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man.
We can
for
work it
sure.
out
It
if
could be
ever.
cool.
Yeah. I feel like we've got a good thing going.
Yeah, keep the thing going.
definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Get him on the like Hey, Skype call, can't you do that?
Yeah, just ring
Skype
me
you
up.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, gotta go. Baby's pooed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, as soon as I can,
could-
I'll be back here. But I don't have a problem bringing him. Just
I
bring
could do a
him.
Yeah,
beach
bring
pod
him.
if you wanted.
Beach pod.
I'll be on,
Superb.
I'll just
We'll
be
ring
on the
you from
beach.
Thailand.
Yeah.
Let's know
I'll
where
be
you're
like,
at.
Christ, this is costing you loads.
Yeah. It's costing you loads.
No, I'll turn it around.
Oh, okay. 0800 reverse
Yeah,
or whatever it was. Do you
0800.
remember back in the day?
Yeah.
Do you remember those
0800
calls? I think we spoke about that before when you'd call up. Like when it was like a pay phone or whatever. You go, it was like, at the tone, please say your name. Because it would call the person, say,
Oh, yeah.
there is a call from Ben on the phone. And you get to say your name. You go, hi, Mum, it's Ben, call me back. And then you'd hang up. And then Mum would get, hi, Mum, it's Ben, call me back. After the tone. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, I don't want to accept this call.
Mad.
But do you know what? Actually,
I don't want to do this anymore.
I
No.
quit.
to summarize, one thing that I do love and I have always loved is boobies.
I knew it.
Man,
Ain't they just the best?
they the best. Oh man, they got me straight busting. No, but seriously, boobs are great.
Yeah, other
Big
things,
ones, small ones, some
Other
as big
things-
as your head.
Other things I love, maybe like the first bluebells of spring.
Okay,
What?
I just went from boobs
Pulling up-
to this.
Pulling Velcro. Oh,
Pulling Velcro.
Oh, peeling the plastic cellophane stuff off of like
I've just,
new
I've just done
products.
that on my new camera.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
my
got
God.
it seems to be a time new camera.
Yeah, new one.
Bubble wrap.
Yeah, popping
Popping
bubble
bubble
wrap.
wrap.
Yeah.
Watching my neighbour cut his hedge.
What did you say, guy's hair?
You love watching him cut. The
I've just
hair.
got a new
man,
camera,
it's
it's
so
got straight lines.
satisfying. The way he gets those straight lines down that hedge.
Really? He's
I
good with
even-
it.
I even went out there the other day and cut mine. Mine's a lot harder to do because it's
Yeah.
rounded.
Right.
But,
Oh, so you're there sculpting.
yeah, I did
And
a
he's
dolphin.
like-
I did a dolphin.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it was a fat dolphin.
Look
but-
like a sea lion.
yeah,
We're working our way up.
yeah,
to
yeah,
that.
I'm working on it.
Superb. Superb.
Yeah,
What are some of the small things that you love to end us on, mate?
Oh, small things that I love. God, what do I love?
that are small.
Like,
The small.
like taking your socks off at the end of a long day when you like peel them
Get
off.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or when you take them off and then you swish it into the basket.
Yeah, that's
that
nice.
is
That is
satisfying.
nice. That is nice.
Yeah.
I do like when I've got up in the morning, winter, shower, and then I've had the towel on the towel rack. That's a nice
Oh,
vibe.
yeah.
and
I
it's
just put that,
heat.
just
Yeah.
feel that just for a moment.
Those
Just for a
first
moment.
hugging
rolls.
you.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, fair. Or like when you've woken up and you've got the driest mouth.
Oh, a glass of water.
Just, and you just drink that glass.
That
see-
first glass of water of the day. Yeah, it's good.
You see those memes where it's like, this water has got to be
It's busting.
busting. Because it's like got the cold drips on it, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that shit goes hard
Yeah, I
at
love
7 a.m.
that.
when you're
I
like,
do love that. I do love that.
my mouth dry, fuck, water. Yeah, man.
I do love that.
Yeah, man.
Superb.
Hey.
Nice.
Yeah, you can love whatever you like. Ain't no judgment.
Nah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Wow.
I'm pretty.
All right.
yeah, no,
But
yeah, no, we're not getting into
Yeah.
that.
Look, we've had enough fun. Right, that's enough. I'm putting a stop to it now before you start offending everybody and all the things
Yeah.
that they love.
I love causing offence.
Yeah. No, you can't. Well, no, have we talked about offense on the podcast already, where we're saying about how like you can't really give
Oh,
offense, you have to like
take
take
it.
offense.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't say that I love confrontational conversation, but I do love having a proper conversation.
Yeah,
with
but
somebody.
you're good with. He's good
Yeah.
with it because
No,
he's
but
just.
I don't want to.
Ah,
I don't want to argue with anybody. I just want to know what makes you tick, and if your opinion is different to mine,
Mm.
trying to work out where that stems from.
you've always enjoyed playing devil's advocate, is the way
Yeah.
I would say it. Because not to be a dick. There's some people who would just do it to be a dick, right?
Yeah.
But I think you are very good at.
Well, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about if I wanted to, I could over analyze like everything.
Yeah.
So you give me your opinion on something, and I go, And then I think of all the other opinions that there might be, and I'm trying to think of, oh, okay, so how would I take that if I was so and so in the equation and that in the equation, la la la. But again, you do that too long and you don't really get anywhere. But I like it, and one of the things that I've always enjoyed about our friendship, going back to that as well, is just the fact that we have been able to have those conversations.
Yeah.
We don't agree on everything. I know that probably on the
That'll be
podcast,
boring.
yeah, it does seem like it, but no, we've got difference of opinions on things,
Yeah.
and I like the fact that we can talk about it. That's the point. And I've never felt that, well, you know, I don't know, maybe behind my back, but I've never felt that you guys would be like,
What a dick.
be like, yeah, I can't deal with that fucking guy.
To end the podcast then, I've got one question for you, dude.
Oh Christ, go on.
Do it.
Do you like going with no pants on? What do they call it?
Commando?
Do you like going commando?
No, not one bit.
My man.
Let me ask you a follow-up question.
Go on.
Do you have foreskin?
Ah. He doesn't.
I
I've
do.
seen it.
I do.
He does.
He
I
does
do. Like, how else do you keep warm in the night?
Let's ask Ben.
I just tuck in.
Guys, I'm really cold. My
I-
penis is freezing.
I'm actually wearing pants today.
So wait, you do have a foreskin?
I have a foreskin,
and
Right.
he goes
You have a
commando
foreskin,
all the time.
and he doesn't.
Yeah, it's just the sensitivity is still there.
It's
is it?
not. It's not even about that, man. It's just like, well,
Airflow.
yeah, I guess, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's the
No,
rubbing of it, man.
It's sound, in fairness. I hadn't thought about the idea of, because
Your
I
raw
go,
bell end. On
yeah,
the
I go
jeans,
commando
yeah.
when I want to go commando, but the idea that you don't go commando because you don't have a layer.
Yeah, but I can't even sleep if I've not got pants on. I can't sleep.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Like, I've even bought shorts. You saw them the other day.
special
I did.
shorts.
I've now brought shorts for summer that are lined because I like that
Yeah,
tightness.
yeah,
I like
so
to
tight.
Yeah, keep everything tight.
Yeah.
Right,
Nice.
Okay.
Well, thanks for coming, mate.
Yeah,
Well,
so we
hopefully we'll see you again.
started off with bum. I was ended in foreskins. Good night.
That's the Sour Cherries podcast. Yeah. Thanks so
Yeah.
much.
Hey, thanks for coming, man.
Thank you.
Next time,
Next time on Sour Cherries.
we'll probably talk about shaving my ass again.
Oh, surely not.
Third time's a charm. Let me out of here, man. I'm trapped.
Tripping.
Whoa.